Hello, I'm Regid Ahmed with BBC World News. Our top stories. North Korea says it has successfully tested a new type of engine designed for a missile which could hit the US mainland. A personal revelation for the Archbishop of Canterbury after a DNA test proves his father's true identity. North Korea claims it has successfully tested a new engine for an intercontinental ballistic missile. It's claiming this will strengthen its ability to carry out a nuclear strike on the US mainland. Our correspondent Steve Evans is in the South Korean capital, Seoul.
North Korea is steadily putting in place all the different bits of technology it needs to deliver a nuclear warhead to the west coast of the United States and even the east coast of the United States. Back in January, it held its fourth nuclear test, closely followed by the launch of a satellite, which experts, particularly in the US, construed as a test of a long-range missile. It now says it's tested the engine for a very long-range missile. There's virtually an announcement every week from Pyongyang. It says it's produced new materials, heat-resistant materials, which would allow it to produce warheads that could re-enter the atmosphere. Kim Jong-un was shown admiringly over a miniaturized, small nuclear warhead. It's impossible to verify these claims from the outside, though in the past week the South Korean government has indicated to the BBC that it accepts that some crucial advancements have been made. There is a political backdrop to all this, and that is next month there's a very big, very rare conference in Pyongyang with a starring role clearly for Kim Jong-un. As that conference approaches, he's ramping up the rhetoric. He referred today to the cesspool of evil, meaning the United States and South Korea and Japan. As that conference approaches, there will be more blood-curdling rhetoric. There may also be a fifth nuclear test.
Steve Evans in Seoul there. The most senior cleric in the Church of England has revealed the identity of his biological father after a DNA test. Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, says he has now confirmed that his father was a British diplomat who at one point worked with the former Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Ben Ando has the story.
It was in the week leading up to Easter that Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, learned that his real father was not his mother's first husband, but this man, Sir Anthony Montagu Brown, who was also Winston Churchill's private secretary and died 3 years ago. He and the Archbishop's mother had a brief affair just before she married Gavin Welby. Justin Welby was born in 1956. Both his parents were alcoholics, and Gavin Welby died when his son was aged 21. The Archbishop had always believed Gavin Welby was his father, and Graham James, the Bishop of Norwich, says the truth was a surprise.
The Archbishop was contacted by one of Sir Anthony Montagu Brown's family, and after some time it was decided to have a DNA test. I think the Archbishop thought to disprove it, and it proved quite the opposite.
Under canon law, there is no threat to Archbishop Welby's position. In a statement he said, "Although there are elements of sadness and even tragedy in my father's case, this is a story of redemption and hope from a place of tumultuous difficulty and near despair in several lives." Justin Welby's mother, Lady Jane Williams, now 86 and long since remarried, said this news came as an almost unbelievable shock, while the Archbishop added that his own experience is typical of many people and he will remain Justin Welby. Ben Ando, BBC News.
Now, if you're someone who fancies the idea of travelling to outer space, that dream could be a little closer. The American company SpaceX has successfully landed a rocket on an ocean platform off the coast of Florida after several previous attempts failed. The company says it's another step towards the stars. Andy Beat reports.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 rocket.
Takeoff to resupply the International Space Station. But for the privately owned SpaceX company, this is no ordinary mission. Minutes after leaving Earth and dispatching its cargo into orbit, the main rocket section turned around and headed towards a landing platform floating in the Atlantic. It then landed safely, the first time it's managed to do that after 4 costly failures. It's a first in the history of spaceflight and delighted the team and the main man behind the project.
The thing that was a little different about this mission on the rocket side was, of course, the rocket landed instead of putting a hole in the ship or tipping over. So we're really excited about that.
The rocket booster is now being returned to shore and being welded to the platform to ensure it doesn't fall off. The plan is to reuse it in the coming months. Its cargo, more than 3,000 kilos of food, water and science experiments, should reach the space station on Sunday. Andy Beat, BBC News.
Now, if you thought mattresses were just for sleeping, think again. More than 1,000 workers at an American electronics store have set a new world record for the largest human mattress. Dominoes, there they go. Luckily, it only took them one try. The whole exercise took 13 minutes and 38 seconds to complete. Guinness World Records said the stunt took 34 rows of mattresses and 7,000 square feet of space. Well, that's it for BBC News. Coming up next, Africa Business Report.
Well, let's see what the weather's up to across Africa and the Middle East.